On this episode of On the Rail, we shine the spotlight on veteran Parks trainer Scott Lake. Parks the Horse gets a lesson on how to decipher a racing program, and we'll meet another Parks warhorse. Jessica learns about the Starting Gate crew with assistant starter Steve Clarkson. Chris visits our retired horse organization, Turning for Home. We'll check in on our jockeys and trainers by the numbers. On the Rail starts now.
Hi everyone, welcome to this month's episode of On the Rail. I'm Jessica Paquette, the announcer at Parks Racing, joined by the PTHA's Chris Griffin, and we have an exciting show for you this month.
Yeah, really great show. It's a sunny Saturday, of course, and we've got a lot of great things coming your way right here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. You got a chance to catch up with one of our trainers, and Scott Lake, he's been really doing it for a long time across the country and also right here at Parks Racing. So this is a trainer spotlight where you got a chance to catch up with Scott Lake.
Hi everyone, Jessica Paquette, joined here with trainer Scott Lake. Scott has been a fixture at the top of the trainer standings here at Parks for a very long time. Now, Scott, tell me how you got your start in horse racing.
My dad used to take us to the races when we were kids at Penn National, and in '76 he got a horse as an owner and started working summers and weekends since I was like 12 years old.
And when did you know you wanted to be a trainer?
Pretty much once he got a horse. I knew right away I wanted to be in this industry in some kind of form or fashion. So.
And who mentored you as you were growing up learning about horses?
Bruce Kravitz. I call him my father. I mean, we're really close. He's won almost 4,000 races. I learned so much working for him, and fantastic guy.
What are some of the early lessons you learned with horses? Because you didn't grow up kind of around them, you found them on your own.
Well, Bruce taught me, get a horse sound, always run in the right conditions. It makes it much easier on the horse, and main thing is getting one sound and happy and put weight on them.
Now, you've trained a lot of really nice horses over the years. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I got a few. I have a horse named Spooky Molder who was an absolute beast. I mean, I think he won 33 races in his career, and he was just an awesome animal. Thunderello, who ran second in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. A horse named My Cousin Matt that took me to Dubai. So, yeah, we've had a few along the way I really like.
And of all of those horses, who is the one that has stuck with you the most?
Probably Thunderello, because 2 years before that I was still at Penn National, and all of a sudden 2 years later I'm standing in the paddock at the Breeders' Cup, so it was pretty surreal.
Now, how many horses do you have here at Parks on any given time?
Right now we're carrying about 50. He gave me 60 stalls for the summer, so we'll have 60 here in about 2 weeks.
And with that many horses, how many employees do you typically have?
That's a good question. There's probably, 15, 20, about 20 guys maybe working here, if not more. A lot of my guys have been with me for a long time. The new guys that came on do a great job, so yeah.
And what do you think is the key to keeping your help around for such a long time? This is a bit of a transient industry, so to keep help for years really is a testament to you.
Keep me away from yelling at them. I start yelling, they start running. So
you have mellowed out a lot over the years.
Yeah. I'm not quite a tyrant like I used to be. So
now, as you've gotten older and more experienced with horses, what have they taught you in this second half of your career?
Patience. You really got to be patient around and take your time. This affects, being in this business affects your whole life. It's your night and day, nonstop, 7 days a week. So, you just gotta, you gotta live this lifestyle, and your other life works around that.
And what advice would you give to a younger person coming up who maybe wants to train horses?
You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard.
I am Jessica Paquette. This is Scott Lake. I really enjoyed getting to catch up with Scott Lake and learn a little bit more about his operation. He and the men and women that work with him do a phenomenal job. Now, speaking of men and women that work really hard on the racetrack, some of the unsung heroes are the folks that work behind the starting gate, called the assistant starters. I got to know Steve Clarkson, and here's what he told us about his job as the assistant starter. Hi everyone, Jessica Paquette, joined here with Steve Clarkson, a member of the Starting Gate crew here at Parks. Now, Steve, give me a little bit of history. Tell me how long you've worked in racing and what you've done on the racetrack.
I got into horse racing through my parents. My father had his trainer's license for a little bit. My mother was a groom for years. And they pretty much just threw me in the wool, since '96. So 1996 was when I first started as a hot walker. And then I eventually worked my way up to rubbing horses, and that's pretty much the introduction to this beauty right here.
So tell me what we're looking at behind us.
This is our schooling gate. This is a 12-stall United Pewit that we school out of in the mornings, and a very similar gate but a little bigger is over at the rake yard, which is what we race out of in the afternoons.
And how long have you worked on the gate?
This will be my 20th year as an assistant starter between here, Monmouth, Atlantic City, Meadowlands, kind of go wherever we're needed and whatever's in proximity to the travel and all.
Well, I've always thought the men and women on the starting gate are some of the bravest people on a racetrack. Getting inside a very tight metal box with an 1,100-pound heat-up animal and then fitting another person in there with the jockey, that just seems very perilous. So tell me what that can look like when things go well and when things don't.
It can get hairy in there at times, and the number one thing that we look out for mainly is the safety of the rider and the horse, and then, you know, we're last, so when it goes good, it goes real good, but when it goes bad, it's all about reaction and how you react to that animal's action and what you have in your little toolbox of, you know and what you can do, and it can get hairy.
Well, the starting gate is the kind of thing that people are very quick to notice when something doesn't go smoothly, but usually 10 times a day, 10 horses or so a day, it goes really, really well. And it's thanks to the men and women like you that work on the starting gate that our horses and riders are safe every day. Now, what would you tell someone who wanted to get involved in horse racing?
Well, it's all about who you know, I believe, because this wasn't anything that I had any kind of prior education for. This was something that it was a who you know type of thing, and this was something that I really wanted to get involved in. I don't quite know why, but this was something that, and it took a while. I had to come up here and harass them for a long time before they would let me. I would come up like once or twice a week and, you know, put me to work, give me a job. And after a while, they were just like, all right, let's put this kid to work, see what he can do, you know, and then I took to it pretty decently. It happened. It happened very well. It all went well. But I mean, like you had said, when it goes bad, it can go bad, and it's all about where you are, what you know, your reaction, and like that. That's pretty much what it is.
And as you learned the job, who have been some of your mentors in horse racing and on the starting gate?
Russell Downs hired me. Then after that, it was John Stodolak, and then John Daniels, Glenn Cowgill, Sean Kroll, who's currently with us now. Those are a lot of the guys that helped me throughout my career and molding me into where I am now.
And what lessons have working with horses taught you?
Be quick. Think quick. Know the behavior of the animal. Know when that thing's going to try to do something. You don't know what it's going to do, but it's going to do something. And you just got to have that reaction. You got to know what to grab, where to be, where not to be, and to try to keep, like I said, horse and rider safe. Those are the primary focuses of this job, pretty much.
Well, we appreciate all that you do. I'm Jessica Paquette. This is Steve Clarkson.
Great stuff there from you and Steve and the entire crew. Very interesting stuff, and stuff that I didn't even know about, and I can guarantee one thing, that is not a job that I am ever going to sign up for. It's break time here on The Rail, but first, some trivia. And welcome back to On the Rail, and now it's my turn here. And speaking of turn, It's Turning for Home, a great organization that helps our equine athletes, our retired athletes right here at parks, and make sure that they find wonderful homes. So here's more from Turning for Home. We all love the thrill of how exciting the races can be and when you're trackside and watching our great equine athletes sprint for that finish line. But what do the horses do after their racing careers are over? There's so many things a thoroughbred can go on to do after their career is finished. Rest and relaxation, eventing, different disciplines which we'll talk about. But here's more about Turning for Home from Program Administrator Danielle Montgomery.
We're really proud to have Turning for Home here at Parks Racing. We're in our 16th year. Turning for Home was started because there was some bad publicity about the horses on the racetrack and people wondering where race horses went. And we always know the good horses go to the breeding farms and they get resold into the big hunter jumpers. But what about the horses that needed a little help when they were getting ready to retire? So it was the brainstorm of Mike Leslie that saw that there were some really great programs around, but it limited numbers. I think the TRF could, had a herd of 100 horses. We have 1,200 horses here at most times at Parks Racing, and we retire about 30 a month. So the funding for Turning for Home is primarily our owners. Every time an owner races a horse, they give a contribution that's now $100 per start that comes to Turning for Home. That is sort of like a Social Security for all of our horses, so there's no horses left behind. In 16 years, we've never turned down an eligible horse, and eligibility just means that the trainer has to be here for 6 months of the year or the horse ran its last race here. Parks Racing Jockey Colony was the first in the nation to fully support aftercare, and every time they win or place, they contribute to aftercare. Turning for Home Day on Labor Day this year in September, so we invite everybody to come out to the parks. We're celebrating our partner farms. Our theme this year, our 16th year, we couldn't do any of this without our partner farms that help rehabilitate, retrain, rehome these horses. And we're going to come back in November. We're having our All Thoroughbred Showdown, where we partner with Second Call from Monmouth to really have a great show to show the diversity of our horses and to create new homes for them. We'll have an adopt-a-thon, a lot of great events, and even a celebrity class. As always, Turning for Home is thankful for all of our supporters, the owners, trainers, the Pennsylvania breeders, Parks Racing, who allow us to help so many horses.
Navy Commander was a very good horse here at Parks Racing, trained with Butch Reed for Swill Can Stables. He retired in 2020 with our partner farm, Full Gallop, Laura Anderson. Full Gallop is one of our partner farms in South Carolina. She helps us to restart our horses in eventing. And Navy Commander did a great job transitioning. He's now competing successfully with his youth rider. And they say that he has a very calm but spirited demeanor and he's doing really well with her. Turning for Home reaches out to our adopters. We see what the latest update is. We'll reach out to them through text message. We'll follow them on Facebook. Our horses don't all have to be eventers. Sometimes we reach out and we see that they're doing dressage work or therapy work with children and veterans. Sometimes we see them doing competitive Western events like barrel racing or roping. There's so many things that our thoroughbreds can do after the racetrack.
You may be wondering why I'm standing here with a program coordinator, Samantha Brock-Potts, and a hobby horse. Well, Sam, when you take a look at the horses when they do get into eventing, you're talking about Navy Commander, they start, where do they even begin?
They could jump as high as like 5 foot very competitively. They could start at shows with little cross rails that are 18 inches tall. Some are naturals and some you have to teach them how to pick up their feet.
And what's the first thing? Do they just start with a jump right away?
First, they have to start doing the flat work, the walk, trot, canter, and then they can start doing little jumps like the one we have set up here we're going to show. This
would not be 4 or 5 feet, right?
No, that's not 4 or 5 feet.
Would this be like a beginner level?
That's a beginner level.
The eventing were very competitive. The horses, they were race horses, so they are probably just as competitive in the eventing as well.
Oh, absolutely. There's plenty of Olympians that pick a thoroughbred for their horse.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really exciting stuff, and it all happens with Turning for Home. So we hope you had a nice chance to learn about aftercare a little bit and also what Turning for Home does right here at Parks. For myself and Princess Sophie, who's hanging out here, don't forget, we always want to make sure that we take care of our horses after their racing careers are over, and we do that every day with Turning for Home.
Wow, Chris, what a great feature on a great organization. Thoroughbred Aftercare, near and dear to my heart, and Turning for Home does such a great job here at Parks.
Yeah, they really do. And a big thank you to Danielle Montgomery and Samantha Brock Potts and for spending some time with us and talking about Turning for Home. And speaking of athletes, how about the human athletes? And we got about halfway through the year, so it's time to find out who some of the leaders are in the different categories. Here is By the Numbers.
Wow, I can't believe we are halfway through the year already. It will be very interesting to see what these standings look like at the end of the year. And now, let's take a quick break.
And welcome back to On the Rail here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Do you ever come to the racetrack and get a program, but you don't even know how to read it? I've been doing it for years, and I still don't think I understand how to read it, but I know you and Parks D Horse actually are going to take us through learning how to read the racing program.
It is time for Horse Racing 101, fun facts straight from the horse's mouth with me, Parks D Horse. Excited for the thrills of racing? Ready to pick a winner, but baffled by all the facts, figures, and symbols in the program? Well, let's bring on a guest who can help us learn how to read a program. We're here with Parks track announcer Jessica Peckett. Would you help this pony make sense of all of this information?
I'd be happy to help, Parks. Together, let's crack the code. You'll be handicapping races like a pro in no time.
Excellent. I see you have a program ready.
Let's jump right in.
Okie dokie. Why are all these races numbered?
That's the running order for the day. Each race has information at the top which lists the type of race, the conditions needed, the distance, the purse or the prize money, and the wagering types allowed.
Coolio! And the rest of the information about my fellow equine athletes?
Yes, that info is broken down into 3 sections. Morning line odds. This is the pre-race prediction of how the wagering is going to go. Lower odds mean the horse is favored to win, while higher odds suggest a long shot. Horse identification. This is where you find the horse's name, program number, family lineage, breeder, owner, trainer, and the jockey's name. Past performance. Now, the real intel lies here. Each line details a previous race for that horse, including things like track location and conditions, dirt, turf, fast, muddy, sloppy. Look for abbreviations like ML for miles or F for furlongs. Running times in fractions of the race. These numbers show the horse's finishing times at different points in the race, including notes such as, did they fade at the end or come on strong? This helps predict their running style. Then you can see wins and finishes in the money, the top 3. They're highlighted so you can see their track record.
Past performances have so many symbols and abbreviations. Oh no!
Don't panic. Programs have a key to decipher them. It's printed on one of the first pages.
Yay! Now I have the tools to crack the code.
That's right, Parks. So really, you want to look for a horse that has a combination of some recent wins, recent form over similar track conditions, and some lucrative odds. These are good indicators, but they do only take you so far. Remember, horse racing is a sport, so there is an element of surprise. Oh no, are you okay?
Okie dokie.
Good, now you'll be handicapping races like a seasoned pro.
Thanks, Jessica. With this knowledge, we all will be ready to analyze the program and pick a horse with confidence. Remember, there are no guaranteed wins, but by understanding the program, you'll be able to make informed decisions and enjoy the thrill of races even more. So grab a program and make your picks.
Now, no offense, Chris, but Parks D Horse is my favorite co-host. I hope Parks D Horse helped you learn how to read the program just a little bit better. Now, let's shift gears to our Warhorse Spotlight, Lean on E, with trainer Tim Shaw. We caught up with this great mare, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Hi everyone, Jessica Paquette, joined here with trainer Tim Shaw and Lean on E. It's Warhorse Wednesday. Now, at her age, she's a very experienced sort of mare, and she showed an entirely new dimension in her last win. Can you teach an old horse new tricks?
I guess you can. I can't really take credit for that. That was Alicia Ruiz, who came to me in the paddock and mentioned to me 2 or 3 starts back that, maybe we should try and take her off the pace a little bit. She had been a confirmed kind of front runner most of her life, but things do get stale, and I said, if you think we can do it, let's do it. And she did run well, and he came in the other day with the same mindset. There was a lot of speed, and he said, let's take her way back and make a run. And I was left stunned again, but it wasn't really me. It was more Alicia Ruiz, who was turning into a very good rider.
It was a very good ride and a very good effort from this mare. Now, what is she like to have in the barn?
She's like a cranky old lady. I mean, she doesn't really like to be groomed all that much or messed all that much with, but once you find common ground, she's very easy to get along with.
So speaking of grooming, you have to tell your grooming secrets, because there are very few horses that come out looking better than your horses, the Dapples, the Shine. What's the secret?
It starts with feeding, and it starts with proper nutrition. And when you do that, it will come out and it'll make you look good, but it really comes from inside. And then you just put the finishing touches on them. But a good coat and a healthy shine comes from inside, really.
And are there any nutritional hacks that you swear by?
Good clean hay and lots of stomach medicine, as much as you can pump into them. As much as they will eat, because they are in a confined environment for a long time. A lot of the day they're not out naturally grazing, just as the nature of what it is. You have to take care of their stomachs.
Now, with these older horses, do you think they're a little bit trickier to keep in good condition than a younger animal?
I think the younger animal, you're teaching them when to go, when to not, how to act in the gait. It's more the basics with the younger horses. But when you get horses like her, you almost let her train whatever she wants to do on a given day. If she's in a bad mood, let her be in a bad mood. If she's in a good mood, let her be happy. But I often use stay out of their way, and it does ring true for especially like her. Just stay out of her way, feed her, take care of her, and you have things like happened the other day.
And the results pay off. I'm Jessica Paquette. This is Tim Shaw. It's Warhorse Wednesday with Lean on E.
Great segment there. Lean on E, a great horse, and Tim Shaw, a great trainer as well. Well, that's going to do it for us, our last show right here on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, but you can catch more from us on the Rail. Tune into our YouTube channel, and I am very excited to premiere a special we did on mental health for our jockeys, our human athletes put so much into the racetrack, both on and off of it. And this is something that has been a project in the making for me. And I'm very grateful to the team at Parks for letting us put this together. And I'm so excited to share it with you on July 27th. So tune in. In the meantime, check out our YouTube channel for more. I'm Jessica Paquette. This is Chris Griffin, and this has been a lot of fun on the Rail.